There's so many factors that go into it. I mean, there are 2 or 3 places that I can think of where I felt that the venue was 100% behind me. The people always are who run it, but the temperature was right. The acoustics were great. My shirt felt good, and it could be the same shirt that I've worn every single day. There's so many superstitious things that go into it. One is out of Queens College, the Frag Hall, which was astonishing to me. It was one of the most comfortable places to play, and the acoustics were great. Carnegie Hall, of course, is great. Then another aspect of it is if I find a place in my favorite example is Kalamazoo or Sheboygan, which I've been there quite a few times, is that as much fun as playing in Rome? The answer is, while I'm on stage, if the conditions are right, it doesn't matter where it is, that's the best place. That was one of my first, out of Juilliard, one of my first, it wasn't an engagement, but my first invitations, and it came out of the blue. And that was a state dinner for the King and Queen of Spain, and I was invited to eat with the President and Mrs. Ford and the King and Queen. And then afterwards, they retired to the East Room, which is where you see all the press conferences. And I was the entertainment for the evening. And the way that happened is that the social secretary, I assume it still works this way, the social secretary for the White House inquires as to what the visiting dignitary's favorite form of entertainment is. And it turned out that the Queen of Spain's favorite was violin classical music. And I had just performed in Washington, and word had gotten around, so I got the call to come down in a week if I would like to play the President. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. For Bill Clinton, I played at one of his inaugural parties. But the White House was for. There are always new ideas popping into my head, usually at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when I can't sleep. Many times it'll be as a result of a conversation with another artist that's something just all of a sudden pops in my head. I mean, people have also asked where inspiration comes from, and I don't consider necessarily anything I do terribly inspired. But if I had to answer, I'd say it's that time when a confluence of events create a moment where your knowledge comes together, and there's that aha moment. If I had to say one thing in particular that I would like to explore, I've done a fair amount with dance, a lot with literature and actors, and still continue to do that. I'd like to work with visual art a little more. There's a danger there in that one does not want to say, well, that painting, if it were music, it would sound like this, because that has a potential of not being artistically relevant. It can sound like that to me, but what is really the connection? So to find a way organically where the 2 art forms, if they're presented on stage, speaks to an audience almost as a duet, that's what the challenge is. And that takes exploration, and it takes failure to find out how it is to work, and I have yet to go down that. There's nothing that isn't important to know. It's as simple as that. Everything that you can store in your memory banks will come back at that moment of inspiration. Besides, there's beauty and joy in just learning for the sake of learning.